If you're looking to replace $100,000 in income in 10 years with rental properties and you've watched enough YouTube videos, you probably realize that every strategy out there seems to work. And you might be right. There are a zillion different ways to make money with real estate. And which one works for you will depend upon your risk level, your income, your savings rate, how much money you have, and how much time you have available to work in your rental property business. But in this video, I'm not nearly going to try to cover all of them because I'm not an expert in all of them. But I am going to cover 2 realistic paths that normal middle-class families with jobs actually use to replace your $100,000 a year income in 10 years of rental properties. And I'm actually going to show you the math on how to do it. So stick around. Let's go. Hi, welcome back to my channel here at Brick by Brick Wealth. My name is Casey Franchini, where I help aspiring real estate investors with their very first rental property. If you are looking for coaching or help on your first rental property, please check out my website, brickbybrickwealth.com. All right, let's get into it. Now, when people say replace my $100,000 income, they're usually talking about their salary. So a gross salary of $100,000 is $8,333 a month. And for today's math, we're going to be talking about net rental income. This will be income after your mortgage, taxes, insurance, repairs and maintenance, vacancy, and property management. No skipping expenses today. So for today's video, we're targeting $8,300 a month. So with that number in mind, the question isn't if it's possible. Question is how. And unfortunately, when people try to calculate this at home, they don't factor in everything. And it starts to look like they're going to need 50 plus units to retire. And that seems overwhelming and impossible. And they give up before they even start. See, people assume that every rental needs to cash flow some really huge number right from the beginning. And if it doesn't, the whole idea of buying XYZ house is stupid. Getting to retirement in 10 years with $100K is impossible, especially with today's home prices. But those thoughts are wrong. So now let's get into the meat and potatoes. Yep. That's me. I like baked potatoes. Now, like I said, I'm going to explain 2 tracks for you to reach your destination. These are paths to $100,000 a year in rental income in 10 years. Now, there are some assumptions. This is assuming you are saving up for your down payments with your own funds. This is assuming you're probably buying about 1 year on average, and you might buy a few more per year as time goes on. This is also assuming you're not using any private money or any partners with interest or any loans for your down payment. This is also assuming you aren't doing any cash out refinances. Doing a lot of those things we just talked about could get you to your destination way faster. But we're doing the most basic regular exercise here on how to get to 100K in 10 years. So anything extra or above and beyond you do apart from this is fantastic, and it should only make it better and faster for you. Okay, here's the 2 tracks. Track A is the rent ready track. You buy properties that are rent ready and you keep them. It's that easy. Track B, you buy value add properties. You buy properties that need work, you force appreciation, and you create stronger cash flow quicker. Both of these tracks can work, but they do have their trade-offs. So you're gonna need to pick which one fits your life. For me, I started off with rent ready because I wanted to have less risk and I wanted to learn the basics. I wanted to really get my foundations of real estate investing down before I got risky. And gradually I did larger and larger value adds. And that increased my cash flow earlier up front in my journey and gave me a higher equity position in those properties. So let's really dig into the rent ready track, which is track A. In year 1 of owning a property, it's realistic to assume something like $100 to $200 a month in net cash flow per property. That could be $1,200 to $2,400 a year in net cash flow, which is not exciting, I know. If your cash flow never improved, you would need a ridiculous amount of houses to reach your goal. But cash flow does improve if you buy in the right areas because time does the heavy lifting. Rents rise over time, your mortgage stays fixed, right? No adjustable loans. Your property gets paid down. So instead of you thinking, what does this first property net me and make me in year 1, you should be thinking, how does it make me money over time and what's it making by year 10? A rent-ready property that starts off netting $100 to $200 a month in net income can easily reach $400 to $600 a month or more in net income over time. So we're gonna meet in the middle there and call that stabilized average $500 a month net. That is $6,000 a year per property. $100,000 divided by $6,000 is about 16 properties. So with track A, you'll need about 16 properties over 10 years to replace $100,000 income. And yeah, that sounds like a lot of houses. But track A is for people who want less risk, less work, and a boring, simple plan they can easily stick with for a decade. Now, I want to talk you through track B, which is the value add track. The big difference between this track and the other one is when the cash flow really starts showing up. See, with the rent ready track, you're buying properties rent ready. So you're letting time do its thing to increase the value and have the rents increase. With track B, with the value add track, you are pulling some of that future value forward. You're still buying long-term rentals, but you're intentionally buying some properties that need some light renovation and improving them right away, today. And this is where the cake method matters. You're not buying cheap properties in bad neighborhoods with either of these tracks, or it won't work. You'll need to buy B-class properties in quality neighborhoods, places that already have strong demand. Because when you add value in a good neighborhood, a few things happen at the same time. First, you get higher rents quicker. Instead of waiting years for rent growth, you're capturing it up front with your value add, with your improvements. Second, your turnover costs drop. With quality houses and quality neighborhoods, you attract better tenants. And when they do move out, you're not writing 5-figure checks just to get the house rent ready again, because they've kept it really nice while they live there. Third, the property itself becomes more valuable faster because you did all the value add up front. So you added value now and you're getting that higher rent increase now instead of waiting for time to do its thing. So instead of starting at $100 and $200 a month in net cash flow and gradually getting to the $400 to $500 to the $600 to the $700 and so on, these track B value add properties can often start cash flowing at the $500 to $700 a month mark. And just like in track A, then the cash flow numbers don't stay flat. They also increase with time. So for track B, it's realistic to expect an average property to be closer to $700 a month net over time. So about $8,400 a year in net cash flow. That being said, you might only need closer to about 12 properties a year to meet your $100,000 in 10 years instead of 16. Same 10-year timeline, just fewer houses. But you have to earn that speed by doing renovations and being sure that you buy in better neighborhoods. But yes, you might be thinking, well, that's going to cost a lot more money. Yeah, it does. Track B requires more capital up front. You have to do the down payment plus front renovation costs. And remember, you're not able to cash out refinance because if you did, that would raise your mortgage payment and you wouldn't have your big cash flow. Remember, doing a cash out refinance and other things that we talked about in the very tipsy beginning of our video will only help you further your dream and make it come quicker for you. So right now, we are not shortcutting the process. We're just compressing it by doing value add. Yes, it requires more upfront capital, but you will see the results sooner. And when track B is completed when using the cake method, which means choosing quality neighborhoods with quality tenants, that is how people make more money with less houses. Now, I want to talk about where investors get it wrong because it's really, really important. So pay attention to this. A lot of new investors look at cash flow first. It's their biggest metric. Cheaper houses, they look amazing on paper, but cheaper houses are not usually in the best neighborhoods. And cash flow is just one of the numbers that affect how much money you actually make from your property. With the year one high cash flowing properties, there's usually higher risk. You have lower income tenants that have less respect for your property, higher chance of theft, higher chance of property damage, and a higher chance of tenants breaking the lease agreement. All of those things cost you more money. And that high cash flow you thought you had just got eaten up super quick. Not to mention those cheaper houses in those not so great neighborhoods don't really appreciate. So you're also not really able to raise the rent, which means you're not making more money over time like you could be if you invested somewhere else. Usually in areas like these, you're losing money as time goes on, not making more. Most old guy investors that I know, they sell these low, cheap properties first out of their portfolio. And they focus on buying more quality properties using the cake method because those are the ones that really have that long-term income potential. So the cake method is basically a rule that keeps you out of the losing trap. There's a masterclass link down there in that section that no one reads if you want to check it out. Anyway, Anyway, the point is simple. You're not just trying to win a small piece of the pie in year 1. You want the whole pie, the whole enchilada in year 10. So here's a big picture. Yes, both of these tracks, Rent Ready and Value Add, can definitely get you to $100,000 a year in income in 10 years. The difference isn't really whether they work. The difference is what type of journey do you want along the way. With the Rent Ready track, the start is slower. It's simpler. There's less going on. There's less chance for mistakes. If you don't have a high risk tolerance and a lot of money to burn, then Track A is the one for you. And if you don't even know how a hammer works, Track A is the one for you. Cash flow gradually grows over time. This is a great path for people to take who are busy, who have families with kids in sports and after-school activities, who don't have time to wholesale and get their own deals, take cold calls, send out thousands of dollars worth of mailers, and who don't want real estate to take over their life. With the value add track, the timeline just gets sped up a little bit. You do make more money over time. But to earn that speed, you have to have more cash to invest, to renovate the properties. A little bit more risk since you are renovating, but neither one of these really is better than the other. They will both get you there. The best strategy that you should choose is the one that you think you can actually stick with for the next decade, because that's what makes the math work, not you quitting. If you're brand new to real estate investing and you've never done a deal before, never bought a property to renovate, maybe never even owned a house, you should start with Track A. You should aim to understand your market, know how to analyze deals, know what tenants want in a rental, understand renovation costs and how to do it effectively, and learn how to build a team you can trust. Do all of that and start with a rent-ready or nearly rent-ready property. And this is where most of my students start. They learn the foundational principles of buying smart rental property deals. Then, once you have 1 or 2 successful properties under your belt, then go hard. If you want, take on a bigger risk. Do a value add property. Do bigger renovations to get that Track B cash flow early. It really is a combo of buying rent-ready and value add properties that are going to get you to where you want to go. So that's the real picture. Replacing $100,000 income in 10 years isn't about chasing the biggest cash flow or getting the best first deal ever. It's about buying the right properties in the right places and staying consistent long enough for the math to work. Whether you start with rent-ready properties or value-add properties, the biggest lever on this in your success really is on where you buy. If you want to go deeper into this, the next video you should watch is one where I break down the 3 criteria I use to choose the best long-term rental property markets. Because getting the market right really makes everything I just said a whole heck of a lot easier. I'll link that right here and down below. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If you enjoyed this video or learned something, please comment down below, hit like and subscribe to my channel. And hey, I might not ever see you again. So many people watch these videos and don't subscribe. So if you want to make sure you see me again, please be sure to hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on my next most awesomeness video on how to be successful with long-term rental properties. And until next time, keep building your wealth brick by brick.